Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatha Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parejana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishikam Vitam Sya Om Jnana Timarandasya Yanachana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gorva Bhistam Supurkam Gorganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govinda Vidamujwalam Varatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Mande Vishwagurun Shah Divyat Bhagavat Prem Noi Bija Pradam Devam Divyatanum Suchanda Varanam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nidim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Bandetam Shubharam Mareka Sharanam Nyashishvara Shidaram Manshakopatarubyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhyavacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema-prayojana Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And this is the Madhya-lila, chapter 23, Life's Ultimate Goal, Love of Godhead. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has explained to Srila Sanatan Goswami sambandha, or the relationship with Krishna, that we're all the eternal servants of the Lord constitutionally. That's the quality of the soul. And abhidheya is the means or the way of satisfying that relationship, which is devotional service. And now this chapter deals with prayojana, which is called life's ultimate goal, love of God at Krishna Prema. Chiradatam nijagupta vitam swaprema namamritam ati udara apamaram yo vidadhara gora Krishno janebhyas tamaham prapadye. The most munificent Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Gora Krishna, distributed to everyone, even the lowest of men, his own confidential treasury in the form of the nectar of love of himself and the holy name. This was never given to the people at any time before. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto him. I was reading in the Chaitanya Bhagavat how there were some envious people who complained to the Qazi about the Sankirtan and the going on all night long in Srivasangam. But many of the citizens of Navadip, they were very much captivated by Mahaprabhu. They love Mahaprabhu. They're bringing presents and offerings to Mahaprabhu every day. And then Mahaprabhu, and they said, well, it's actually a shame that the kirtans are going on in Srivasangam, but we would really like to participate in them, in chanting the holy name and having kirtan. And then Mahaprabhu told them, then I'm giving you the Maha Mantra. And he gave them the Maha Mantra, and he told everyone, you should have kirtan in your house. You can have groups of up to 8 to 10 persons in your house, and you can chant the holy name. And in this way, I'm giving you this Maha Mantra, and all of you should chant this. And then later he organized Naga Sankirtan when the Kazi objected to everyone singing in their houses. So it says here, the most munificent Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Gaura Krishna, distributed to everyone, even the lowest of men, his own confidential treasury in the form of the nectar of love of himself and the holy name. This was never given to the people at any time before. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Jaya Jaya Gaura Chandra, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Lord Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Acharya, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ebe Shuna Bhakti Phala Prema-prayojona Jahara Shravane Hoy Bhakti Rasa Gyan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, now hear, O Sanatan, about the result of devotional service, which is love of Godhead, life's ultimate goal. One who hears this description will be enlightened in the transcendental mellows of devotional service. It says, Ebe Shuna Bhakti Phal Prema-prayojona. Now hear us, O Sanatan, about the result of devotional service. So, Bhakti Phal, the fruit of bhakti that you'll get, which is Prema-prayojona, which is love of Godhead. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, now hear, O Sanatan, about the result of devotional service, which is love of Godhead, life's ultimate goal. One who hears this description will be enlightened in the transcendental mellows of devotional service. Krishna Rati Gada Hoile Prema Abhidan Krishna Bhakti Rasara E Stai Bhavanam. When affection for Krishna becomes deeper, one attains love of Godhead in devotional service. Such a position is called Stai Bhava, permanent enjoyment of the mellows of devotional service to Krishna. When affection for Krishna becomes deeper, one attains love of Godhead in devotional service. Such a position is called Stai Bhava, permanent enjoyment of the mellows of devotional service. Krishna Bhakti Ras. The permanent enjoyment of Krishna Bhakti, of Krishna Bhakti Ras, of the mellows. Ras is mellows. So Krishna Bhakti Ras, permanent enjoyment of Krishna Bhakti Ras, in the form of devotional service to Krishna. When affection for Krishna becomes deeper, one attains love of Godhead in devotional service. Such a position is called Stai Bhava, permanent enjoyment of the mellows of devotional service. And the mellows of devotional service is Krishna Bhakti Ras. Okay. Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma Prema Suryamsa Shamabhak Ruchibis Chitta Mashrinya Krid Aso Bhava Uchate Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma Prema Suryamshu Samyabhak Ruchibis Chitta Mashrinya Kridaso Bhava Uchate. When devotional service is executed on the transcendental platform of pure goodness, it is like a sun ray of love for Krishna. At such a time, devotional service causes the heart to be softened by various tastes, and one is then situated in bhava, emotion. Edui bhavera swarup tatasta lakan, primera lakana ebe shuna sanatan. Bhava, emotion, has two different symptoms, constitutional and marginal. Now, my dear Sanatan, listen to the symptoms of love. Samyam ashrinita svanto mamatva tisha yankita bhavasa eva sandratma buddhai prema nigadyate. When that bhava softens the heart completely, becomes endowed with a great feeling of possessiveness in relation to the Lord, and becomes very much condensed and intensified, it is called prema, love of Godhead, by learned scholars. Ananya mamata Vishnu mamata prema sangata bhaktir iti uchate bhishma praladava naradai. Ananya mamata Vishnu mamata prema sangata bhaktir iti uchate bhishma pralado dava naradai. When one develops an unflinching sense of ownership or possessiveness in relation to Lord Vishnu, or in other words, when one thinks Vishnu and no one else to be the only object of love, such an awakening is called bhakti, devotion, by exalted persons like Bhishma, Prahlad, Uddhava, and Narada. Kon bhagye kon jivara shraddha jadi hoy, tabi se jiva sadhu sangha jay karai. If by good fortune a living entity develops faith in Krishna, he begins to associate with devotees. Sadhu sangha hoite hoy, shravana kirtan, sarana bhaktye hoy, sarva narta nivartan. When one is encouraged in devotional service by the association of devotees, one becomes free from all unwanted contamination by following the regulative principles and chanting and hearing. When one is encouraged in devotional service by the association of devotees, one becomes free from all unwanted contamination by following the regulative principles and chanting and hearing. Anartha nivritti hoyle, bhaktye nishta hoy, nishta hoyte, shravanadye ruchi upajoy. When one is freed from all unwanted contamination, he advances with firm faith. When firm faith in devotional service awakens, a taste for hearing and chanting also awakens. So this is when one is freed from all unwanted contamination. That's anartha nivriti. When one attains that anartha nivriti, the clearing stage, everything is taken out from the heart of the devotee. So many anarthas, unwanted things. When one is freed from all unwanted contamination, one advances with firm faith. When firm faith in devotional service awakens, a taste for hearing and chanting also awakens. Ruchi hoite bhakti hoy, asakti prachur, asakti hoyle chitti janme, Krishna priti ankur. After taste is awakened, a deep attachment arises, and from that attachment, the seed of love for Krishna grows in the heart. Se bhava gara hoyle dware premanam, se prema-prayojona sarvanandadam. When that ecstatic emotional stage intensifies, it is called love of God. Such love is life's ultimate goal and the reservoir of all pleasure. Ado shraddha tata sadhu sangota bhajana kriya tato narta nivritti shat tato nishtas ruchistata atasaktis tato bhavas tata prema abhyudanshati sadakanam ayam premna pradurbhave bhavet krama. Ado shraddha tata sadhu sangota bhajana kriya tato narta nivritti shat tato nishta ruchistata atasaktis tato bhavas tata prema-prayojana sarakanam ayam premna pradurbhave bhavetkrama. In the beginning, there must be faith. Then one becomes interested in associating with pure devotees. Thereafter, one is initiated by the spiritual master and executes the regulative principles under his orders. Thus, one is freed from all unwanted habits and becomes firmly fixed in devotional service. Thereafter, one develops taste and attachment. This is the way of sadhana bhakti, the execution of devotional service according to the regulative principles. Gradually, emotion intensifies, and finally, there is an awakening of love. This is the gradual development of love of Godhead for the devotee interested in Krishna consciousness. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti ritkarna rasayana kata Tadjoshanan ashvapavargam vartmani shraddha ratir bhaktir anukramishati. The spiritually powerful message of Godhead can be properly discussed only in a society of devotees, and it is greatly pleasing to hear in that association. If one hears from devotees, the way of transcendental experience quickly opens, and gradually one attains firm faith that in due course develops into attraction and devotion. The spiritually powerful message of Godhead can be properly discussed only in a society of devotees, and it is greatly pleasing to hear in that association. If one hears from devotees, the way of transcendental experience quickly opens, and gradually one attains firm faith that in due course develops into attraction and devotion. Jahara dinaye e bhavan kor hoy tahate ete kachina sarva shastre koi. If one actually has a seed of transcendental emotion in one's heart, the symptoms will be visible in one's activities. That is the verdict of all revealed scriptures. If one actually has a seed of transcendental emotion in one's heart, the symptoms will be visible in one's activities. That is the verdict of all revealed scriptures. Shantir anyarta kalatvam viraktir manasan shunyata ashabandha samutkanta namagane sadaruchi asaktistad gunakyane pritistad vasatistale iti adayo nubhava shur jata bhavankure jane. When the seed of ecstatic emotion for Krishna fructifies, the following 9 symptoms manifest in one's behavior: forgiveness, concern that time should not be wasted, detachment, absence of false prestige, hope, eagerness, a taste for chanting the holy names of the Lord, and attachment to descriptions of the transcendental qualities of the Lord, and affection for those places where the Lord resides, that is, a temple or a holy place like Vrindavan. These are all called anubhava, subordinate signs of ecstatic emotion. They are visible in a person in whose heart the seed of love of God has begun to fructify. Enava prityankura jarachite hoy prakrita shobhe tara shobha nahi hoy. If one for Krishna in a seedling state has fructified in one's heart, one is not agitated by material things. Tam mopayatam pratiyantu vipra ganga cha devi drita chittamishe tuijo pashrishta kuhakas takshakova dashat valam gayata vishnugata tamopayatam Pratiyantu vipra ganga cha devi dridachitamishe dvijo prashrishta kuakas takshakova dashat valam gayata vishnugata. O Brahmins, just accept me as a completely surrendered soul and let Mother Ganges, the representative of the Lord, also accept me in that way. For I have already taken the lotus feet of the Lord into my heart. Let the snake bird or whatever magical thing the Brahmin created bite me at once. I only desire that you all continue singing the deeds of Lord Vishnu. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam spoken by Maharaj Parikshit while he was sitting on the bank of the Ganges expecting to be bitten by a snake bird summoned by the curse of a Brahmin boy named Shringi, who was the son of a great sage named Shamika. News of the curse was conveyed to the king, who prepared for his imminent death. Many great saintly persons, sages, Brahmins, kings, and demigods came to see him in his last days. Maharaj Parikshit, however, was not at all afraid of being bitten by the snake bird. Indeed, he requested all the great personalities assembled to continue chanting the holy name of Lord Vishnu. And of course, in that association, Srila Shukadeva Goswami arrived and began speaking to the king, to Maharaj Parikshit. Krishna sambandha vina kala avyarta nahijai. Not a moment should be lost. Every moment should be utilized for Krishna or connected with him. Maharaj Parikshit's expression of anxiety is explained in this verse. He says, let whatever be destined to happen take place. It doesn't matter. Just let me see that not a moment of my time is wasted without a relationship with Krishna. One has to tolerate all obstacles on the path of Krishna consciousness, and one has to see that not a moment of his life is wasted outside of Krishna's service. Vagbis stuvanto manasa smarantas tanva namantopi anisham na tripta bhakta Shravanetra jala samagram ayur harer eva samarpayanti. With their words, they offer prayers to the Lord. With their minds, they always remember the Lord. With their bodies, they offer obeisances to the Lord. Despite all these activities, they are still not satisfied. This is the nature of pure devotees. Shedding tears from their eyes, they dedicate their whole lives to the Lord's service. With their words, they offer prayers to the Lord. With their minds, they always remember the Lord. With their bodies, they offer obeisances to the Lord. Despite all these activities, they are still not satisfied. This is the nature of pure devotees. Shedding tears from their eyes, they dedicate their whole lives to the Lord's service. Bhakti siddhi indriyarta tare nahivai. In the material field, people are interested in material enjoyment, mystic power, and sense gratification. But these things do not appeal to the devotees at all. Mukti siddhi indriyarta. Enjoyment, mystic power, siddhis or yogic siddhis, and indriyarta, sense gratification. Yodustyajan darasutan suridrajam hridi sprisha jaho yuvaiva malavad utamashloka lalasa. King Bharata was very eager to attain the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, who is called Uttamashloka because poems and prayers are offered to him for his favor. In his youth, King Bharata gave up his attractive wife and children, as well as his beloved friends and opulent kingdom, just as one gives up stool after passing it. So when he was desirous of attaining love of Godhead, then he left everything behind. These are the signs of virakti, detachment, found in a person who has developed bhava, the preliminary stage of love of Godhead. This verse is quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam. Sarvotam apanake hina korimane. Although a pure devotee's standard is above all, he still considers himself to be in the lowest stage of life. Haro ratim mahanesha narendranam shikamani bhiksham atan aripure shvapakam api vandate. Bharat Maharaj always carried affection for Krishna within his heart. Although Bharat Maharaj was the crown jewel of kings, he was still wandering about and begging alms in the city of his enemies. He was even offering respects to chandalas, low-class men who eat dogs. Krishna Kripa Koribena Drita Korijane, a fully surrendered devotee, always hopes that Lord Krishna will be kind to him. This hope is very firm in him. Na prema shravanadi bhaktir api va yogota va vaishnavo jnanam va shubhakarma va kiyad aho sajjatir api astiva hinartadika sarake tvayi tatapi achedya mulasati he gopi janavalabha vyatayante haha mad ashaivamam. O my Lord, I do not have any love for you, nor am I qualified for discharging devotional service by chanting and hearing, nor do I possess the mystic power of a Vaishnava, knowledge or pious activities, nor do I belong to a very high caste family. On the whole, I do not possess anything. Still, O beloved of the gopis, because you bestow your mercy on the most fallen, I have an unbreakable hope that is constantly in my heart. That hope is always giving me pain. O my Lord, I do not have any love for you, nor am I qualified for discharging devotional service by chanting and hearing, nor do I possess the mystic power of a Vaishnava, knowledge or pious activities, nor do I belong to a very high caste family. On the whole, I do not possess anything. Still, O beloved of the gopis, because you bestow your mercy on the most fallen, I have an unbreakable hope that is constantly in my heart. That hope is always giving me pain. This is a verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Samutkanta hoy sada lalasa pradhan. This eagerness is chiefly characterized by an ardent desire to associate with the Lord. Tvats Shaishavam Tri Bhuvanadut Bhutam iti avehi Matschapalam cha tava va mama Vadigamyam tatkim karomi viralam murali vilasi mudgam mukambujam urikshitum ikshanabhyam tvadschaishavam tri bhavanadbhutam iti avehi matschapalam cha tava va mama vadigamyam tatkim karomi viralam murali vilasi mudgam mukambujam urikshitum ikshanabhyam. O Krishna, O flute player, the sweetness of your early age is wonderful within these three worlds. You know my unsteadiness, and I know yours. No one else knows about this. I want to see your beautiful, attractive face somewhere in a solitary place. But how can this be accomplished? This from Krishna Karnamrita. Namagane Sararuche Loy Krishna Nam. Due to having great relish for the holy name, one is inclined to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra constantly. Rodana Bindu Maranda Shandi Drig Indi Varaja Govinda Tava Madhura Swarakanti Gayanti Nama Valimbala. Rodana Bindu Maranda Shandi Drig Indi Varaja Govinda Tava Madhura Swarakanti Gayati Nama Valimbala. O Govinda, this youthful girl named Radhika is today constantly pouring forth tears like nectar falling from flowers as she sings your holy names in a sweet voice. Krishna Guna Kyane Hoy Sarvada Asakti. At this stage of bhava, devotee has awakened the tendency to chant and describe the transcendental qualities of the Lord. He has attachment for this process. Madhuram Madhuram Vapurasya Vibhor Madhuram Madhuram Varanam Madhuram Madhugandhi Mridu Smitam Edaraho Madhuram 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 Madhuram. O my Lord, the transcendental body of Krishna is very sweet, and his face is even sweeter than his body, but his soft smile, which has the fragrance of honey, is sweeter still. Krishna Lila Stani Kore Sarvadas Vasati. A devotee absorbed in ecstatic emotion for Krishna always resides in a place where Krishna's pastimes were performed. So such a temple also qualifies as such a place, because Srila Prabhupada, a temple is a place where the Lord's pastimes take place and which the devotees relish. Karaham Yamuna Tire Namani Tava Kirtayan Udbashpa Pundarikaksha Ruchayishyami Tandavam. O Lord Pundarikaksha, while chanting your holy name with tears in my eyes, when shall I dance in ecstasy on the bank of the Jamuna? Krishna Ratir China Koilun Vivaran Krishna Prema China Ebe Shuna Sanatan. These are the symptoms of a person who has developed attraction, bhava, for Krishna. Now let me describe the symptoms of a person who is actually elevated to love of Krishna. O Sanatan, please hear this from me. Jara Chitte Krishna Prema Koraye Udoy Tarabakya Kriya Mudra Vigyehana Bujoy. Even the most learned man cannot understand the words, activities, and symptoms of a person situated in love of Godhead. Jara Chitte Krishna Prema Koraye Uday Tarabakya Kriya Mudra Vigyayana Bujoy. Even the most learned man cannot understand the words, activities, and symptoms of a person situated in love of Godhead. Danyashyayam Nama Prema Yashon Milati Chetasi Antarvanibir Api Asya Mudra Sustu Sud Durgama. Even a most learned scholar cannot understand the activities and symptoms of an exalted personality in whose heart love of Godhead has awakened. Eva evam vrata sva priya nama kirtya jatanurago druta chitta uchai hasati ato rodati roti gayati unmaravan nrityati lokabaya. When a person is actually advanced and takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord, who is very dear to him, he is agitated and loudly chants the holy name. He also laughs, cries, becomes agitated, and chants just like a madman. not caring for outsiders. Prema-prayojona bari hoy, sneho mana pranoy, raganu ragabhava mahabhava hoy. Love of Godhead increases and is manifested as affection, counter love, love, attachment, sub-attachment, ecstasy, and sublime ecstasy. Now these are terms used in the description of developing more attachment and more and greater sense of love and the following of different symptoms of being situated in Krishna Prema. Now, as we can hear from these symptoms, there are not good English translations of these words. It just doesn't exist in the language. So I'll repeat the verse. Prema krami barihoy snehamana pranoy raganu ragabhava mahabhava hoy. Love of Godhead increases and is manifested as affection, counter love, love, attachment, and love, attachment, sub-attachment, ecstasy, and sublime ecstasy. So love of Godhead increases and is manifested as affection, counter love, love, attachment, sub-attachment, ecstasy, and sublime ecstasy. Bija iku rasa guda tabe kandasar, sharkara shita michari shuddha michariyar. This development is compared to sugarcane seeds, sugarcane plants, sugarcane juice, molasses, crude sugar, refined sugar, sugar candy, and rock candy. Now, there are many persons who object to refined sugar. So the idea with this verse is not to become concerned about the development of commercial sugar, but rather this is describing how the taste for love of Godhead becomes intensified, just as you start with the seeds of the sugar cane plant and it develops. So this development is compared to sugarcane seeds, sugarcane plants, sugarcane juice, molasses, crude sugar, refined sugar. We can say where the sugar refined in the, not like a refinery, but refined sugar in the sense that it's becoming more and more crystallized and it's becoming more sweet. Refined sugar, sugar candy, and rock candy. So we've seen where they sell pieces of rock candy, which is crystallized sugar. They're big pieces. They sell them sometimes in the marketplace. This development is compared to sugarcane seeds, sugarcane plants, sugarcane juice, molasses, crude sugar, refined sugar, sugar candy, and rock candy. So it's how the taste of sugar is becoming sweeter and sweeter and sweeter and more condensed. Iha jaiche krame nirmala krame more swada rati premadira taiche baraye ashwada. One should understand that just as the taste of sugar increases, as it is gradually purified, so when love of Godhead increases from rati, which is compared to the beginning seed, its taste increases. So how the sugar cane, like in many places, in India and in Latin America also, you see persons who have machines for squeezing the juice out of sugar cane, and with a little ginger or something, they sell it by the glass, and that is very tasty. You know, sugar cane juice drink. Many people are happy drinking that. One should understand that just as the taste of sugar increases, as it is gradually purified, so when love of God it increases from rati, which is compared to the beginning seed, its taste increases. And also, of course, people sell what is called gur, blocks of like hardened molasses, which is still not at all refined, but people cook with that gur molasses. And one kind of that one kind of that molasses is called date gore. Date gore comes from date palm trees, and it's that molasses from date palm, and that can be eaten just like candy. So, Adhikare Bedirati Pancha Parakar Shantadasha Sakya Vatsalya Madhura Ar. According to the candidate possessing these transcendental qualities, sneha, mana, and so on, there are 5 transcendental mellows: neutrality, servitorship, friendship, paternal love, and conjugal love. So, according to the candidate possessing these transcendental qualities, sneha, mana, and so on, there are 5 transcendental mellows: neutrality, servitorship, friendship, parental love, and conjugal love, or shantaras, dasharas, sakyaras, vatsalyaras, and madhuryaras. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, rati, attraction, is thus described: Vyaktam mas rini tevantar lakshate rati lakshanam mumukshu pravrittinam ched bhaved esha ratir nahi kintu bala chamatkara kari tatschina vikshaya abhidheya subodhoyam rati avasa prakirtita. The real symptoms of the fructification of the seed of love, rati, are manifested because the heart is melted. When such symptoms are found among speculators and fruitive actors, they cannot be accepted as real symptoms of attachment. Foolish people without knowledge of devotional service praise such symptoms or attachment, even when they are based on something other than a desire to serve Krishna. However, one who is expert in devotional service calls such symptoms rati abhas, a mere glimpse of attachment. So abhas means a reflection or mere glimpse. So these are called rati abhas. We have namabhas. We have namabhas, which is not the pure chanting of the holy name, but a reflection or a glimpse of the name, namabhas, which actually means not chanting with any offenses, but chanting the name without a pure attachment to the name, possibly using the name to mean something else, like an example of when Ajamil was being attacked by the Yamadutas. He first called out the name of Narayan, which is son, so his son. So he's calling his son, but he was calling Narayan, which is the Lord's holy name. So that's called namabhas. But by hearing that namabhas, he then thought of the real Lord, and then he's calling out to the Lord. First he was calling his son namabhas. And his son's named Narayan, but he's calling out Narayan, but he's not referring directly to the Lord. That's namabhas. Then there's bhaktabhas, reflection or glimpse of bhakti. There's rasabhas, which is not pure, not pure rasa, not a pure taste for the holy name or for service. Rasabhas, an incompatible mixture, which is done out of ignorance and is not real, true taste. For instance, there are many kinds of rasabhas that rasabhas. Mahaprabhu didn't. Anybody who would read literature for Mahaprabhu had to pass the examination of Swarup Damodar. And Swarup Damodar knows what is rasabhas or incompatible mixtures in literature. Somebody's writing a book, somebody's writing a poetry. Swadharma Damodar will point out that no, this is philosophically incorrect and this creates an incompatible taste that's called rasabhas. So abhas means a reflection or a glimpse, but not the pure thing. So, however, one who is expert in devotional service calls such symptoms of persons feigning prema or feigning rati attachment for the Lord, but they show tears from the eyes and many things like this, but they don't have pure attraction for Krishna. So here it says, however, one who is expert in devotional service calls such symptoms rati abhas, a mere glimpse of attachment. E panchastayi bhava hoy pancharas, Jairase bhakta sukhi, Krishna hoy bhas. These 5 transcendental mellows exist permanently. Shantadasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. These 5 transcendental mellows exist permanently. The devotee may be attracted to one of these mellows, or one of these rasas, and thus he becomes happy. Krishna also becomes inclined towards such a devotee and comes under his control. Premadika Stayi Bhava Samagri Milane Krishna Bhakti Ras Rupe Pai Pariname. When the permanent ecstasies, neutrality, servitorship, and so on, are mixed with other ingredients, devotional service and love of God, it is transformed and becomes composed of transcendental mellows. Vibhava Anubhava Sattvika Vyabhichari Stayi Bhava Rasohoy Echari Mili. Permanent ecstasy becomes a more and more tasteful transcendental mellow through the mixture of special ecstasy, subordinate ecstasy, natural ecstasy, and transitory ecstasy. So different moods will develop to be able to enhance the rasa, or that ecstasy of dasya, sakya, vatsalya, or madhura ras that become mixed with different tastes, which the devotee is experiencing. Permanent ecstasy becomes more and more tasteful, transcendental mellow through the mixture of special ecstasy, subordinate ecstasy, natural ecstasy, and transitory ecstasy. Different rasas that develop to enhance the rasa in which the person is situated. So different moods and different textures will come along. Dadijena Khanda Maricha Karpura Milane Rasa Laksha Rasa Hoy Apurva Svadane. Yogurt mixed with sugar candy, black pepper, and camphor is very palatable and tasty. Similarly, when permanent ecstasy mixes with other ecstatic symptoms, it becomes unprecedentedly tasty. Dvivida Vibhava Alambana Udipan Vamshi Svaradi Udipana Krishnadi Alamban. There are 2 kinds of particular ecstasies, Vibhava. One is called the support and the other is called the awakening. The vibration of Krishna's flute is an example of the awakening, and Lord Krishna himself is an example of the support. So, Alamban is the support, and Udipan is the awakening. Dvivida Vibhava Alambana Udipan Vamshi Svaradi Udipana Krishnadi Alamban. There are 2 kinds of particular ecstasies, Vibhava. One is called the support, which is the Alamban, and the other is called the awakening, which is Udipan. The vibration of Krishna's flute is an example of the awakening, and Lord Krishna himself is an example of the support. Anubhava smita nritya gitari udbhava svar stambari sattvika anubhavera bitar. The subordinate ecstasies are smiling, dancing, and singing, as well as different manifestations in the body. The natural ecstasies, such as being stunned, are considered among the subordinate ecstasies, anubhava. Nirbeda harshadi tetrisha vyabhichari sabmili rasahoy chamatkarakari. There are other ingredients beginning with complete despondency and jubilation. Although there are 33 varieties, altogether there are 33 varieties, and when these combine, the mellow becomes very wonderful. The rasa is the mellow. The rasa becomes very wonderful. There are other ingredients beginning with complete despondency and jubilation. Altogether, there are 33 varieties, and when these combine, the rasa becomes very wonderful. The mellow becomes very wonderful. Panchavida rasa shanta dasya sakya vatsalya madhuranama shringara rasa sabate prabhaya. There are 5 transcendental mellows: neutrality, servitorship, friendship, parental affection, and conjugal love. Shanta dasya, sakya, vatsalya, and madhurya. There are 5 transcendental mellows: neutrality, servitorship, friendship, parental affection, and conjugal love, which is also known as the mellow of sweetness. Conjugal love exceeds all the others. Madhurya, or Madhura Nam, Shringara Ras. It's also called Madhurya Ras is also called Shringara Ras. Shantarase, Shantirati, Prema-prayojona hoy, Dasharati Raga Parjanta, Krameta Badoy. The position of neutrality increases up to the point where one can appreciate love of Godhead. The mellow of servitorship gradually increases to the point of spontaneous love of Godhead. So Shantaras, Shantirati Prema-prayojona hoy, position of Shantaras increases up to the point where one can appreciate prema, love of Godhead. Dasharati, the mellow of Dasharati, or servitorship, gradually increases to the point of spontaneous love of Godhead. Satyavatsaya Ratipai Anuraga Sima Subal Jera Baba Parjanta Premara Mahima. After the mellow of servitorship, there are the mellows of friendship and parental love, which increase to subordinate spontaneous love. The greatness of the love found in friends like Subal extends to the standard of ecstatic love of Godhead. Sakyavatsaya Ratipai Anuraga Sima Subal Jera Bhava Parjanta Premara Mahima. After the mellow of servitorship, there are the mellows of friendship and parental love, which increase to subordinate spontaneous love. The greatness of the love found in friends like Subal extends to the standard of ecstatic love of Godhead. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that the mellow of neutrality increases to simple love of Godhead. In the mellow of servitorship, love of Godhead increases beyond that to affection, counter love, anger based on love and attachment. Similarly, the mellow of friendship increases to affection, counter love, attachment and subattachment. It is the same with the mellow of parental affection. The special feature of the mellow of friendship exhibited by personalities like Subal is that it increases from fraternal affection to counter love to spontaneous attachment to subordinate attachment and finally to the ecstasy where all the ecstatic symptoms continuously exist. Sakya Vatsalya Rati Pai Anuraga Sima. So Sakya and Vatsalya develop up to Anuraga. And then friends such as Subal and others, that their friendship goes up to Prema Mahima, the glory of love of God. After the mellow of servitorship, there are the mellows of friendship and parental love, which increase to subordinate, spontaneous love, Anuraga. The greatness of the love found in friends like Subal extends to the standard of ecstatic love of Godhead, Prema Mahima. Santade Rasara Joga Viyoga Duibed Sakya Vatsalye Yoga Dira Aneka Vibed. There are two divisions of each of the five mellows: yoga, connection, and viyoga, separation. Among the mellows of friendship and parental affection, there are many divisions of connection and separation. And so there's so sometimes viyoga is expressed as ayoga. There are two divisions of each of the five mellows: yoga, connection, and viyoga, separation. Among the mellows of friendship and parental affection, there are many divisions of connection and separation. Shantadi rasana joga viyoga duibed sakya vatsalye yoga dira aneka vibed. There are two divisions of each of the five mellows: yoga, connection, and viyoga, separation. Among the mellows of friendship and parental affection, there are many divisions of connection and separation. Ruda, Aniruda. So I'll read this. We're getting into description of terms that are very much advanced because this chapter deals with prema, which is highly advanced love of Godhead, and what only happens after the stage of anartha nivriti and raga. That first one gets rid of all things which will impede one's development of service and love for Krishna, and then one goes beyond the stage of just attraction to actually the stage of prema. So it's very highly advanced. So we find that the words and terminology used in relationship with prema is not very easily translated. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, these divisions are described. Ayoga, Yogit, Vitasha, Prabedo, Katita, Bhubo. In the mellows of Bhakti Yoga, there are two stages, a yoga and yoga. A yoga, or V-yoga, is described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu as follows. Sangha Bhavo Hare Dhirar Ayoga iti Katyate Ayoge Tvan Manasa Katvam Tad Gunadi Anusandaya Tat Prapti Upaya Chindadya Sarvesham Katitash Kriya. Learned scholars in the science of Bhakti Yoga say that when there is an absence of association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, separation takes place. In the stage of ayogya, separation, the mind is filled with Krishna consciousness and is fully absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. In that stage, the devotee searches out the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said that in that stage of separation, all the devotees in the different mellows are always active in thinking of ways to attain Krishna's association. The word yoga, connection, is thus described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Krishnena sangamo yas tusa yoga iti kirtyate. When one meets Krishna directly, that is called yoga. In the transcendental mellows of neutrality and servitorship, there are similar divisions of yoga and viyoga, but they are not variegated. The divisions of yoga and viyoga are always existing in the five mellows. However, in the transcendental mellows of friendship and parental affection, there are many varieties of yoga and viyoga. The varieties of yoga are thus described. Yogopi, katita, siddhis, tushti, stitir, iti, trida. Yoga connection is of three types: success, satisfaction, and impermanence. The divisions of yoga separation, are described as follows. Utkanditam viyogas cheti ayogapi dvidojate. Thus a yoga has two divisions, longing and separation. Radha adiruda bhava kevala madhure mahishi ganera ruda adiruda gopika nikare. Only in the conjugal mellow are there two ecstatic symptoms called ruda, advanced, and adiruda, highly advanced. The advanced ecstasies are found among the queens of Dwarka, and the highly advanced ecstasies are found among the gopis. The adiruda ecstasies are explained in the Ujjvala Nilamani. Radotebhyo nubhavebhya kamapi apta vishishtatam yatranubhava drishyante so dirudo nigadyate. The very sweet attraction of conjugal love increases through affection, counter love, attachment and subattachment, ecstasy, and highly advanced ecstasy, Mahabhava. The platform of Mahabhava includes Ruda and Adiruda. These platforms are possible only in conjugal love. Advanced ecstasy is found in Dwarka, whereas highly advanced ecstasy is found among the gopis. Vrindavan. Adiruda Mahabhava Duita Prakar Sambhoge Madana Virahe Mohana Namatar. Highly advanced ecstasy is divided into two ecstasies, Madan and Mohan. Meeting together is called Madan, and separation is called Mohan. Marane chumbanadi hoy ananta vibed udgorna chitra japa mohane duibed. On the Marana platform, there are kissing and many other symptoms, which are unlimited. In the Mohana stage, there are two divisions, Udgorna, unsteadiness, and Chitra Jalpa, varieties of mad emotional talks. So, for today, I'll stop here, and we'll sing Hari Harai. Hari Harai Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama. Hari Harai Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama. Jaravaya Maravaya Keshavaya Nama. Jaravaya Maravaya Keshavaya Nama. Gopa Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Janardan Shiva Sadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Janardan Shiva Sadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath Sri Jiva Gopala Bhakta Dasa Raghunath Sri Jiva Gopala Bhakta Dasa Raghunath Sri Jiva Gopala Bhakta Dasa Raghunath Echai Gosai Kori Chanana Bandhan Echai Gosai Kori Chanana Bandhan Jayate Vignana Shamista Puran Jayate Vignana Shamista Puran Echai Gosai Jar Mui Taradas Echai Gosai Jar Mui Taradas Tasava Para Renu Mora Panchagras Tasavara Para Renu Mora Panchagras Sadir Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas Sadir Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas Janame Janame More Abhilas Janame Janame More Abhilas Echai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas Echai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Manjai Aman Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Manjai Aman Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naradamodas Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naradamodas Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Nitai Gora Haribo 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 Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Ashtatara Sada Shri Shrimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Ashtatara Sada Shri Shrimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Bharga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhattaragana Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasharagana Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premsi Go Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasani Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Bhagwat Ki Jai. Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vishvavaranya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshada Shriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Shri Kuladvip Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan. Shyam Kunda Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jil Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Shri Ekadasi Upavas Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.